Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we got a special show for you today, and dealing with gold diggers. So I had a client recently that we unpacked a situation that wasn't a breakup; it was someone he was dating, and there was some signs of gold digging there. But as I get into it, everyone has their own definition of gold digging. Okay, so that's not defined by me or you. It's defined by the individual involved in the relationship. So this is going to be a good topic today. It comes up a lot. I've talked about it before, but we're going to unpack it in a different way. We've got a couple stories on deck, and it's just good to be back into this time frame. Eduardo Martinez, welcome. Anyone that has any comments about this, let me know. But like I said, when you think of gold digging, it seems pretty much, oh, this is just someone trying to take advantage or get money out of someone. They use people, right? So where I'm going with this is, though, there are some people that are attracted, that actually like being with a gold digger, whether they know that or not, whether they want to accept that or not. It's reality, okay? Because there's some advantages for some people with being with someone gold digging, because it's very simple to identify how to keep that person happy. Materialistic items, money. Now, if the other individual on the other end has a lot of money, and there are people out there, there's never been more billionaires in the world, right? There's never been, as much as there's inflation going on, as much as there's a lot of poor people, there's never been more people that have millions of dollars. So, because they printed so much money. So the reality is, there are people out there that are perfectly fine with a gold digging situation, right? And they'll laugh about it, because it offers them leverage and control, because they know how to feed that individual. Now, that's not a relationship I want to get into, but if someone can financially sustain that, it's up to you. Just know what you're getting into. Just know that it is what it is, and you accept certain expectations and things in a relationship from the get-go. So we're going to get into that today. If you have any comments about other topics this week, please let me know. Otherwise, let's get into it. So, pull up my notes here. Dealing with a gold digger. First off, everyone has a different definition of what a gold digger is, or what it takes to qualify for that title. Okay, whenever you have a label, someone gives that label a definition. Other people can just accept it as, oh, that's what it is. But it's up to you to define a label. Okay. So, someone might say, someone just asking for a handbag or something. Oh, they're a gold digger. It's like, nah, they're not there yet. They actually just only ask me for things once every 3 months. You see where I'm going with this? Define it for yourself. Don't let people slap that label on your girlfriend. And I'm going to add to this, there are male individuals out there that are gold diggers too. Not as many. They don't usually use that term, but it actually is a real thing. There are guys that are manipulative and hunt women for money, okay? I'll leave that up to you out there. If you start dating someone that you believe has signs of being a gold digger, take a break from the relationship and get your calculator out. If you're a little more advanced, start an Excel spreadsheet and really take a look at your spending on this person. Now, ask yourself this: is it your pleasure to treat your woman or your man to these items of luxury? Okay? Is it your pleasure to do so? Do you get a kick out of it? Do you feel good about it? Is it just who you are? Do you just enjoy being generous? Do you just love to spoil your significant other? If that's the case, you don't feel like you'll be bankrupted, you'll be emptied out, then there's not really a problem. Because your friends and your family and colleagues, oh, you're with a gold digger. You don't care. It's what you accept, and that's okay. A gold digger to you then is an ideal partner, because you're generous, you have plenty of money, and you're okay with it. And there's people out there like that. And the people that don't associate with gold diggers or date them have a problem with it. It's fine with me. Just know what you're getting into. Now, on the other hand, if you feel like they owe you something, this is different. When you buy them something expensive or extravagant, if you feel like they're using you for money, then ask yourself, why am I sticking around? Why am I putting up with this? Don't ask them. Don't ask them like, oh, do you really care about me? Ask yourself, because you already know the answer to that. The number one answer is usually a high level of attraction is there. This is the number one thing. If you're dating someone that's quote unquote a gold digger, there's probably a high level of attraction. There's not a lot of ugly gold diggers out there, right? You are with someone you find highly attractive, and you are being manipulated by their hotness. The interesting thing about being with someone highly attractive is that it fills the need of being sexually attractive, but it also floods the ego with this feeling of excitement and acceptance that when you walk around with this woman or man, people take double takes. So you think it's about the sexual attraction that you have for the individual, but it's a double whammy. Think about this. You walk around with this individual that's highly attractive and people take note and you feel good about it. It's an ego builder. And you love that. It's your trade-off for being with this gold digger. Now, when the gold digger starts to pull away or ask for more material items, that's when the individual on the other end starts to get insecure and overcompensates. Okay? They will then confront the individual on their spending habits because deep down it was never their pleasure to buy them those items. There was always a covert contract in place. I buy you these things, you'll be my girlfriend, and you'll be a good girlfriend because I take care of you so well. The problem is that it's okay if you have infinite money, but if you don't look out, the hammer will fall, right? You'll break down to a point and have to confront the situation. If I have to ask myself, is this person using me? Then have I already answered my question? Because how many times do you even ask that question? It doesn't happen often, right? If when you say no for the first time to buying them something, you don't deem valuable or worth your money. See, this is what happens a lot of times too. It'll be like, no, I'm not spending money on that. Right? You want a diamond-studded doghouse for your doggy? No, I'm not going there. And then they throw a fit and threaten to break up with you. Right? Just know this. When you say no that first time, that second time, and they throw a fit, there's your answer. There's your clarity. This is a big part of the relationship. This is part of what they value the most. And so what they do in these situations a lot of times is when you say no, and I would highly recommend if you're dating someone that you deem possibly a gold digger or using you, say no a few times and see what happens. And when you say no, because this is the thing, when someone wants to get an item or ask you to pay for dinner or the list goes on, and you say no once, their reaction is going to be their playbook throughout the relationship. If you deny them what they want and they go straight for the kneecaps, and if you give in, they know which button to push next time. It's that simple. And it happens again and again. I have friends in these relationships. I've known people in these relationships. And a lot of times what they're doing is they feel like, well, I'm just going to make things right now because I don't want to fight. I don't want to break up. That's not what I want. I don't want to break up. I want to stay with this person. So they buy the item. They give them the money. But then later on, it happens again, and it happens again, and it happens again. And they just have never developed the ability to say no, because the consequences of saying no is I'm going to break up with you. We'll be done. We've lost everything we have. And that's a really difficult situation to get in, right? So let's get into this a little deeper. Number one, a gold digger is only defined by you individually. Don't let your friends or family impose that label on your relationship. They might just be jealous. You accept what you want to accept. If friends, family, and spectators in the cheap seats are going, oh, she's a gold digger, or that guy's just using you, but you deep down, it's your pleasure, you have the money. And let me just accentuate that. You have the money, so you have the ability to take care of this person extravagantly. It's totally up to you. It's your choice. In that particular case, just know what you're getting into. That's all. You define what it is. Don't let someone else define that for you. Number two, some people have plenty of money to take care of their partners. They know the deal and they are comfortable with it. Okay? Outsiders might hate to see this, but really having extraordinary wealth gets you what you want at any cost, and it buys convenience. If you have a gold digger that you're highly attracted to and having a hot woman by your side is important to you, then you'll buy them whatever they want. The problem is everyone has their limits. And if you lose some money in the stock market or a housing development, that's not going to mean they think they have to change their lifestyle. See, it won't translate over to what they're doing. And that's the thing. Money is fluid, right? Even the greatest investor or the richest person has some setbacks, or over time, they have things that they're like, yeah, I'm just not going to buy that for you. I don't find the value in it, right? So, like I said, it's up to you to define that, not me. Now, number three, having a talk with them won't work. Okay, someone's like, oh, I need to talk to them about this. This is built into the relationship. This is baked into the expectations. So if you think that you're going to just talk to them and say, hey, cut back your spending, this isn't working. This is subconsciously built in. It's probably a few different things. Number one, their mom could have been the same way. One of their parents could have taught them to be this way. I had an ex-girlfriend that her mother, their outing when they were young, when they were young, her and her sister, was going to the mall every weekend. It's just what they did. That's how they bonded, right? So you're wondering, what did she end up being? She was at the mall every weekend herself. She was $10,000 in debt, credit card debt, when she was 21, 22 years old. Okay. All on clothes and items like that. So you're like, oh, how does someone? So you're not going to just tell someone, hey, stop going to the mall. They literally have to have some consequences like that, right? Because that's been an important part of their life for a long time. They get a lot of joy out of it. So to think that you're going to just talk someone out of that behavior, they didn't come to that being talked in. It's been built in. If someone has something that they get joy from or happiness from, and then you tell them they can't have that, it won't register. They'll just look for some other way to fill their needs. You can see that with drug addicts. Okay. A gold digger can just wiggle out of the relationship and find another sponsor. If that's their number one need in the relationship, they certainly can find someone else to fill that need. Number four, if you date a gold digger, just know what it is and why you're in that relationship. Okay, that's really important. Just know what it is. Don't feel like, oh, I think they kind of are. I think they're kind of are taking advantage. Be honest with yourself. And know that the relationship will have financial expectations. Either meet them or the relationship will end. If you don't think that's fair or you don't believe in relationships like that, then when you first start dating, the gold digger at hand just sees what happens when you say no at any sort of money request. Let me repeat that. If you're wondering how much they're valuing your money or your spending ability or you taking care of them, say no. Say no. Say no a couple times. See what happens. Say no. And when you say no, this reaction will show you who they are and who they will be moving forward. So if they have a fit If they can't handle a no, that's how it's going to be. Don't overthink it. Just move on if you aren't going to be okay being a yes man when it comes to materialistic items. All right. So that's the way you deal with it. You can accept it, or you can say, nope, not me. And you can find out really quick when you're dating someone that values money over you, when you say no. Someone should be able to handle a no when they're asking you to buy them something. As an adult individual, they should not throw a hissy fit or claim that they're going to do something really bad to you or the relationship. Okay, let's get into the stories now. Coach, I got a tough one here. I've been checked out of my relationship for over a year now, just concentrating on work, not really putting a lot of effort into my marriage. I can't believe it's come to this. My wife and I have been married for 10 years. We are both in our mid-30s. We love each other, but we just lost that love feeling where you're so happy to see each other. I can't believe it's come to this. We really just let our intimacy fall off a cliff. Well, first of all, I mean, this happens in a lot of marriages. You just get bored, monotonous, mediocrity. You get stuck in your ways. You get in some bad habits. And when you're married to someone and when you live with someone, which is pretty much the same thing, right? Minus maybe the financial commitments in some countries once you're married, right? But when you're married to someone or you live with them full time, you really stop getting their physical best. What do I mean by that? You no longer, when you're dating someone and you meet them to go on a date, and this is the first 3 months or 6 months, they get ready for that date. I mean, they really get ready for the date, right? They're going to look their best. They're going to get a haircut. They're going to take a shower before they see you. You know, these things seem like, yeah, of course. They're going to put on their nicest clothes. Nicest is a word, right? They're going to do these things. When you live with someone, you're going to see them at their worst a lot. You're going to see them when they're not feeling good. You're going to see them when they're in a bad mood. And sometimes what happens is it just kills attraction, because for the 24 hours you see them on a Saturday or a Sunday, it's really maybe an hour or two you might see them at their best. But here's what happens to a lot of people. They stop even trying to look their best. They stop even trying to get intimate. Intimacy requires some tension, right? Some tension needs to be there. That's why a lot of couples that have no intimacy, we're really good friends. There's no tension. There's no buildup, right? So I don't even want to tell you the numbers on that. Last year, it was just single digits that we made love. Wow. In 1 year. This is actually very common. It wasn't particularly good, and that's probably why you didn't do it again. About a week ago, she told me she was leaving me. It came out of nowhere. Even though I've been checked out, I still didn't want to break up. So if we were doing a live coaching session, I'd ask you, like, what do you mean you've been checked out? How do you define that? To me, that means that you're not really into the relationship. You're just going about your business, and you could care less about intimacy or those kinds of things. And this is what, for a lot of guys, they don't mention it in their stories. A lot of them are porn addicts, because that's what happens. They just let go of it. They never mention it in the story, very rarely. But that's usually what happens. They have a locked door in their office, and they're taking care of business in that way. And then, I don't know why I'm not attracted to my wife anymore. Well, I know if you were honest with yourself, why. She's got some serious competition. It's on your screen and it's available at any time. I still don't want to break up. I mean, we don't have any problems really. It's just, I guess, boring. I'm not sure how to spark things, but I don't want us to end this way. Well, if you've been in a rut for a while, you're not going to just snap your fingertips and get out of that. Okay, this is going to take work. This is not going to, you can't change this in a day. It took a lot to get here. You guys have been together 10 years. You're not going to change this very quickly. We have a house and a couple dogs. Kids were never in the plans for us. I'll admit we both let ourselves go. Well, there you go. But the last 6 months, she got a trainer and really hit the gym and some hit classes. I'm familiar with HIT. Those are multi-circuit classes. Okay. Well, bottom line is this happens a lot. So she got tired of it. She starts looking better, feeling better. Why would she want to be with someone that's not on her level, or at least making an attempt to be better, get better, feel better, look better? Right? I mean, this is good that you're writing this out and realizing this. Now you're thinking, oh, I wish I could go back in time and maybe take some classes myself. She looks great, and I didn't really follow suit, even though she invited me to many times. I've read stories like this before. And now when she approached me about ending it, I got it. She's been preparing for this, and I haven't at all. I wouldn't necessarily say that she's been consciously preparing for it, but when she started going to the gym and looking better and feeling better, and you're not following suit and you're not taking care of yourself, people don't like to be in lopsided relationships, whether that's financial, whether that's looks, because it makes one person feel inferior and one person feel better than the other. And that's a dangerous place to be in relationships. Okay. And now when she approached me about ending it, I got it. She's been preparing for this. I haven't had it all. A friend of mine told me I should have seen it coming when she started the gym. Bottom line is, the way your narrative is on this, you've been checked out of the relationship. You've been accepting to a monotonous, mediocre relationship, and now you're shocked she wants to get out of it. I mean, we need to talk about this in a live coaching session. Now, I feel like I just want things to work again. Well, you're not. I'm going to tell you right now, nothing that you find on the internet, on YouTube, is going to make this get fixed right away. It's going to start with you probably going to the gym or doing some kind of exercise. Says, I'm motivated to get back in shape. I want to date her again. See, this is the thing, though. It's going to literally take you 6 months of regular exercise to feel like you're up for that. Okay. But she told me she's done. She's moving on and already got a lawyer. So here's the thing about this. You're married. You've been together 10 years. You've been checked out for a year. You had a year of horrible intimacy. You were in the single digits and it was not even good. Okay. So you've built a case on what it's like to be with you for 10 years, and especially the last couple years. So she, as an individual, has made her choice based on your behavior, based on the relationship this last year. And guess what? There's not going to be much you can do. And the thing about being married and getting a lawyer and going through all that hoopla, right? Once that's final, it's very rare that someone comes back to their ex-husband or ex-wife, especially if it was really bad at the end. So what I would say is you need to find a way to start accepting this breakup first and foremost, right? Anything you do, once someone says they're done and what you've just mentioned, it's just going to make you feel worse if you try to talk her out of it. So I would get a lawyer, I would get a trainer at the gym, and I would talk to a coach or a therapist immediately to get into your feelings on why you let this relationship go. And really, what at the core of this, why would you want to get back with someone that you were checked out of for a year? And what drew you to be drawn away from this, right? What drew you to accept a relationship like this and then be somewhat surprised when they left you? You got to get deeper into this. You got to unpack this a little deeper on your end. You're just looking to, how do I get them back? How do I get them back? How do I get her back? The reality is you need to get yourself back on deck. You're the one that's off. I'm not sure what to do. Is there a way to overcome that? Start working on yourself. Start with the gym first. Book a live coaching session with myself, another coach, or a therapist. Start there. Is there a way to convince that we can't just throw away 10 years? No. Because this last year that was really bad, this last year that you said was single digits of intimacy, not very good, and you've been checked out, you can't overcome 1 year of evidence and just say, hey, let's not throw the. A lot of people think like, this is a great argument. Like, let's not throw away 10 years. No, you're not throwing away 10 years. The 10 years will always be there. They're always there. Okay. The reality is the last year is what really counted towards ending this relationship. And you're not going to be able to reverse that. You can't go in unless you're going to get liposuction. You said you've been out of shape, or you know what I mean? You're not going to be able to reverse her thinking by talking her out of it or into it, unless she's highly impressionable. But even then, if she said she's done, she's been going to the gym, you're going to need to give her time and space to miss you and come to that conclusion on her own. All right. I hope that helps you. If you're in a 10-year relationship, though, you definitely should book a live coaching session. There's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to unwind. All right. I got one more story here. Coach Mac, I can't believe I'm writing my breakup story. I thought I'd be with this man for the rest of my life. I was wrong. Well, don't be so hard on yourself. The rest of your life, any commitment, whether that's job, whether that's living in the same house, whether that's being with the same partner, that's a pretty tough long-term contract to lay on someone. It's pretty dramatic, actually. And the way the world works now, a lot of people are not going to be with the same person for the rest of their life. So don't feel so bad. Don't feel so out of place. I get a lot of people that go, oh, what's a normal relationship? There is no normal relationship. Deal with the one in front of you. I just caught him cheating for the third time this year. It's been with 2 different women whom I actually know. Women have always loved him, and he's a major flirt. So if you know that about him, you knew what you were getting into. It's probably one of the reasons you're attracted to him. He's good with women. You've caught him. The fact that you know the women, that stings a little bit more, but it's the same as if you didn't know him, right? I knew what I was getting into early on. I just let it go because I just loved being with him. That's a choice. I don't judge you for that. There's some relationships that are open. There's some relationships where someone goes, I know they cheat or mess around, but just don't let me know. That's your choice. When it gets too hot or it's out of line or you can't deal with it, then you break up. We've been together for a couple of years, and I'm 26 and he's 24. I've never really trusted him, but in some weird way, it drives our relationship. I'm glad you noticed that. Mystery, tension, excitement, it keeps you engaged. And this is why we like Netflix series where you have these ups and downs, these cliffhangers. You have constant drama. So when you're in a relationship like this, you don't think that's what you want, but it actually drives a lot of sexual tension and intimacy. And so you checking up on him, it creates this tension. It creates a lot of attraction and excitement, but everyone has their limit, because at some point, if you don't trust them, there's going to be a brink on that, right? There's going to be a point where they're like, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't be a side piece. Or if you saw it with your own eyes, everyone has their own limitations to it. But the idea that it's kind of a weird way that it drives your relationship, women like to be with men that other women want to be with. I think that's a natural fact, whether you want to agree with that or not. Social proofing is probably one of the number one things. It's the same reason an ugly rock star will pull 1,000 women, right? And who am I to say who's ugly, right? But you get my point. So the up and down of it, really, though, I give him, So going back to that, I'm 26 and he's 24. I've never really trusted him, but in some weird way, it drives our relationship. The up and down of it, really, though, I give him credit. He plays the game well. He covers his tracks. He says the right things at the right time. I know what's up with him, but I can't stop being with him. Why is that? Well, like I said, some women, some men too, but women more or less, they're addicted to checking up on their boyfriend, and the fact that other women want him put them in competition, which actually in some weird way, like you said, turns them on. And the fact that he is good with women, right? He knows how to handle you. So the fact that he's getting other women, you said he's a good flirt, he's probably a good looking guy. The same reasons these other women like him, they like you. But there's a reason you're accepting this. I would say maybe your parents' relationship or your caretakers, there was some kind of cheating going on. There was somewhere in your past that it was acceptable to do this. Because there's some people that like cheating, no, unacceptable. Like it's just a no-no. And then there's some people like it's acceptable. If they look at, I've known people that their fathers had multiple wives. They are definitely more open to that in some cases because they love their father. Now, if their father had a lot of drama around that, they're dead set against it. You follow me? So everyone has their own rules to this. So if you feel like you're not normal for this, that's not necessarily true. If you want to find out more of why you accept that, then you'd have to do a live coaching session and dig a little deeper and unpack some things. I know he's bad for me, but I keep going back. I keep forgiving him. Well, it's the same reason you eat sugar, right? You know sugar is bad for you. You know donuts and cake are bad for you, but you like it. It makes you feel good. And probably in short bursts when you're together, he knows how to make you feel good. Literally. I keep forgiving him. Just know that's a choice. Why am I doing this? Have you seen this with many women that are with serial cheaters? Only you know why you're doing it. So there's gatekeepers in your subconscious of why you choose to do what you do. So for example, anytime something comes up and you have to make a decision in your life, your brain, when you get to a certain age, to your 20s, your 30s, goes, have I seen this situation before? And then it goes, oh yeah, I saw this, when I was 15 and my mom told me that dad had cheated on me, but she didn't mind because we have a really good family and this is just what all men do. So your mind goes to that moment and now you're 26 years old and your boyfriend's cheating on you and your mind goes, oh yeah, mom said it was okay and this is what all men do. So you find it more acceptable. What pushes against that is the fact that society doesn't like that, right? That's a no-no for most cultures and societies. But somewhere along the line, someone told you that was close to you and you respected that it was actually a really good thing, that it's just what men do, and it kept your dad in the frame. So I'm not saying that's what happened to you. I'm just saying how that works. Now, to get to that point where you realize where that seed is, you'd have to book a live coaching session. Then I'll go through some questions. And through those questions, we can unpack where the seed is. And once you know the seed, you could break that up and decide if you want to accept that or not accept it. All right. We haven't had very many on deck today. Probably a lot of people watching the finals. It's been good. It's been grand. Eduardo Martinez, yes, I have adjusted back to Phuket time zone. I feel outstanding. It's good to be back. Got the banana trees in the background. Things are good. Miguel, I will be looking forward to our session today, bud. Gay and NYC, always a pleasure. Thanks for riding with me, Eduardo, today. I'll be back on deck same time tomorrow, and we will be talking about, let's check it here real quick. Tomorrow's best dating advice. This might be a good one for you, Miguel. You've been asking me a lot about this. Best dating advice. All right, folks, take care.